going to resume the recording. There we go. And I'm now going to assign you as the host.
Okie dokie.
Where am I not going the right way up? I'll have to go that way up then.
Change host. Right, how do you have control?
I can mute people, can't I then?
Right, have fun. I'm going to have my laptop in the background, so I'm going to stop my video and mute myself now. Bye!
Goodbye.
Bye.
Right, let's get going. Cool. Sort myself out. Cool. Right, so we're starting sit up. Feet together to start and then bring toes out into a V and then heels out to join. Come onto your toes and just drop one heel at a time. Just drawing in the belly button and focusing on your balance. Good, and then arms out in front, balance at the top, and as you drop one heel, opposite hand goes in the air. And keep that core nice and tight. Keep it going. Try and stretch the arms up as tall as you can. Last few. Good, rest down. Holding the hands with the arm, we're just doing circles outwards, keeping the shoulders back and down. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and the opposite direction. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Rest the arms down, give them a shake if you need to. Keeping the feet where they are, we're coming down into a squat. We're lifting the heels off the floor, standing up, and then dropping the heels back down. Try and make this as flowing as possible. And we're still squeezing in the tummy to help us balance. Good, last few. Good, one more. And we're going to try and go in reverse. So we're bringing the arms up as we go onto our toes. We're dropping into a squat, dropping the heels down and standing back up. Good, keep it going. Last two. Good. Coming onto the side, we're going to bring one foot back, slightly bending the front knee, bringing the hand into the air. We're bringing the knee towards the hand twice, and then we're going into 2 back lunges. And repeating that sequence. Good, one more on each side. Okay, last one on this side before we swap. Good, swap sides and same again. Nice and slow. and controlled. Oops. Hope you've got better balance than I have today. And last one. Good. Facing the front again, hands out like we're holding a tray, rolling the shoulders back, and we're opening the hands up and back in, just getting those shoulders nice and open. And slow down the breathing. Still taking the time to squeeze in our belly button. And on the next one, we're coming out, straightening out the arms, twisting the hands, and coming back in. Like we're emptying a glass of water at the top, and then coming back to holding our tray. Okay, 2 more. Good. Letting the hands go down by the side, letting the left hand fall down the left side, rolling both hands towards the front, and then rolling our spine all the way back up to standing with a big shoulder roll at the top. And repeat on the other side. Okay, keep it going. Try and get a little bit further into the stretch each time. One more time on the left. And one more time on the right. Good, we're coming to the end of your mat, or find a space, and we're rolling ourselves down. So big one of what we just did, so rolling the shoulders forward, we're letting the hands come down the thighs as far as you feel comfortable, and rest the hands as far as you can towards the floor. Deep breath in. As you breathe out, walk the hands forward, bending the legs so we're on all fours. And we're just going to go up into a push-up series here. So we're going into sort of a kneeling press-up position. So we're in this position. The shoulders nice and relaxed. And we're going to do 2 shoulder blade press-ups, followed by 2 normal press-ups. So the first one, we're letting the shoulder blades come together. And then we're pushing our hands into the mat to bring the shoulder blades all the way around our rib cage. So we're doing 2 repetitions of that, and then we're going into 2 normal press ups, and we're going to go through this twice more, so in your own time. 4 in total, 2 of each. And last set. This is a great one to get our shoulders nice and open, especially if we work from home. Good. We're just going to stretch through our back, so onto all fours, arching all the way up towards the ceiling, and then dipping the belly button towards the floor and looking forward. And repeat. So getting ourselves moving, and we may have slight tightness through our mid-back, just opening up those areas before we start. Last one. Good. For the first one, we're going to come onto our front. with our hands out to the side. Now use a pillow or anything if you need to rest your head on. But we're going to draw in the tummy. So we're going to bring the belly button up off of the mat. So it may mean that you're squeezing your bum cheeks as well. And then from here, we're lifting our chest off the mat. So we're lifting up. We're coming forward, back, and down. And again, just making sure we're keeping the tummy nicely tight throughout the whole process. So we're not using our lower back. And if you can, try and repeat a few reps before you come down. So we're coming up, 3, 2, 1, dropping down, and repeat. Good, 2 more sets of 3. And last one. Good. Rest down. This time we're going to come into our whole breaststroke movements. We're doing the whole of the breaststroke. So exactly the same as doing a swimming pool. You're drawing the tummy in. You're lifting yourself up, coming forward. We're lifting up further to come round. And then we're bending the elbows to return. So again, slight lift as we come forward, lift up further, bend at the elbows and down. Have a rest between each rep of these because they are quite difficult. And we just want to make sure that core is still engaged. Okay, a few more. So if you feel like your lower back is working a bit too hard, then just make sure from this position we squeeze the core even harder as we come up and return. Last 2. Final one. Good, and we're pushing ourselves up onto all fours. And we're gonna go into our swimming. So onto all fours, hips and knees in line, hands slightly in front of shoulders. We'll make sure our back's nice and flat. We're squeezing the tummy in as we bring one leg and one arm out, and then lifting them up. So we're just using the tummy to make sure we're in this position, nice and flat, instead of being in this position where we put a lot more stress through our lower back. And just alternate arms and legs. And we don't want to shrug the shoulder, so keep the shoulders nice and relaxed as you lift the hand off the mat. Now, if you can, instead of keeping the hand in contact until we're straight, we're going to lift straight up. So a little bit more of a balance exercise. Two more on each side. Last one. Good, relax down. We're staying on all fours for the next one, but we're tucking the toes underneath, so we're ready to lift our knees off of the mat. Hands again slightly in front of shoulders. And we're gonna go up for a leg pull hold. So we're making sure core's nice and active, back's nice and flat. And as we breathe out, we're lifting our knees off of the mat. So there's room for about an apple to go under each knee, and we'll hold in. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and down. We're bringing our hands one step forward. And the next one, we're going to do some shoulder taps. So we're coming up into press up, and we're tapping on each shoulder. 3 on each shoulder, trying to keep the body nice and still and the bum down. Once you've done your 3, returning the knees to the floor. And we're going to go through those 2 movements 3 times each. So going back into our original holds. Take a nice deep breath in. Brace the core as we breathe out. Lifting up. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and down. Bring our hands forward again for our shoulder taps. 3 on each side. Take a minute to set yourself up, and then pushing up when you can. Coming down when you've done. Give rounds a little bit of a shake in between these sets. Can be a little bit challenging on the shoulders. And we're going to our last set. Coming up for our hold. So onto all fours to start. Drawing in the tummy, coming up off the mat. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and down. And last 6 shoulder taps. Coming up into press up when you're ready. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Coming down. So we're going to come back into child's pose. So sitting your bum back onto your heels, stretching your hands as far as they can forward on the mat. Good. Bring the hands to the left side. And bring the hands to the right. And back to the center, stretching the hands as far forward as you can. Good, we're sitting ourselves up and we're coming onto our side for our next 2 movements. So we're resting onto our elbow, almost like we're going to go into a side plank. So our knees and hips are in line. Our elbow and shoulder are in a straight line as well. Hand on the hip to start. We're making sure the chest and the tummy is facing forward. We're bringing the hips off the mat. We're bringing the hand above the head and pushing the hips further up. So instead of coming into side plank here, we're pushing up further and then coming back down. And we're going to do this every sort of few seconds. Take a deep breath in to prepare. As you breathe out, coming up. And again, breathing out. And down. Okay, 4 more. Breathing in. As you breathe out, down and up. Good, and last 2 in your own time. And last one. Good, so to really get your abs on the lower part going. So now we're going to come into a straight lying position, making sure you can just about see your feet. So you should be able to just see your toes. We're pushing the top hip away from us, so we're nice and straight. And we're coming into a lift, twist the foot out, back and down. Up, twist, back and down. So we're trying to keep ourselves nice and straight, making sure we're not leaning backwards. So if we had a big headlight on our tummy, it would still be facing forward. Last few. Getting those hip muscles working hard. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. Coming up into a kneeling position. We're still going to be working this hip to start with. So if you do have a band or you want to hold a weight in one hand or a water bottle, now's the time to grab it from the side. I'm going to use a band just because it's easier and it's what I've got in the house. So we're going to straighten one leg. I'm going to lean this hand down. So we've got now this square forming between my hip and my arm. The other hand's coming up. So as I lift my leg, I'm straightening my arm. And we're still making sure that our hand and our hips are in that nice square shape. Getting a double workout here, arms and legs. So core should still be working a little bit just to keep us nice and stable. But we're mainly using those hips and our triceps. Good. Last few. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. Coming on to the other side for this one. So we're stretching out one leg, making sure we're nice and square, facing forward. We're dropping the hands down, the other arm in the air, and we're coming into the same movement as we lift the hip, straightening up. Bit like a half star jump. There's always one hip that's worse. I find this side a lot harder than the other side. Really pushing those arms out into extension, making sure it's completely straight before you come back down. Five, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. Drop the band or weight or whatever you're using to one side. We're coming back into our side lying position. So we're going into our side bend. So into our plank, making sure we're lined up, hand on the hip as we lift up, and then arms straight, breathing out to push all the way up into an arc shape, coming back down. Next breath out, doing another repetition. Good, and we're going to do 5 more. Really trying to push those hips as far as you can towards the ceiling. Last few. Two left, keeping the resting shoulder nice and active. And last one. Good. Giving this arm a rest by lying onto our side. We're coming into our side leg lifts. So pushing the top hip away from you, so we've got this nice straight pelvis. We're then lifting up, twisting, back, down. And repeating this, making sure we're not rocking backwards. There's that brick wall behind you to stop you from leaning back. So we just stop the right muscles working if we alter our position. Good, keep it going. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Rest down. Good, we're coming onto our back. Also, we're sitting up first. We're having a nice little stretch for a second before we carry on. So bringing one leg across to the opposite outside knee, hugging the knee in towards the chest, so we get a nice stretch for our hip. So we're almost pulling the knee across our body. We're bringing one hand back, using the other hand to push the knee in, and we're twisting round. Take the time just to slowly breathing down. Swapping sides, hugging that knee in and across the body first. And bringing one hand back, using the other hand to push the knee in and twisting round. Good, relax down. I'm going to slightly move my mat because I've shuffled around. So we're lying, no we're not, we're sitting upright and we're going into some core work. So again, if you have a band or you've got a weight to hold in each hand, then now is the time to use that. So we're going to go into a roll down and then we're going into some upper body rows. So with arms out in front to start. We're sat on our sitting bones on our pelvis. We're drawing in the tummy, so drawing in the belly button. We're rolling off and into our lower back, all the way down to the floor, bringing arms above your head, and then we're squeezing the tummy to bring the chest up, then our lower back off, all the way to seated. Before you grab your weight or your band, and we're going to do 5 rows, squeezing the shoulder blades together, but not shrugging the shoulders. And once you've done your rows, Going back into the next roll down. Trying to keep those feet flat on the floor. Good, and keep this going. Really sitting up nice and tall once you've finished your roll up. Good, you should really feel those core muscles working to get you off the mat. Okay, we're going to go through 3 more. Last 2. Quite nice adding the rows in because it gives you a bit of time to recover from the core. Last one. Last 5 rows. Good. We are dropping the band to the side and we're going to stay in this upright position, hands out in front. Roll the shoulders to make sure we're not shrugged. We're going to tighten in the core again, squeezing up towards the ribs. We're coming off of our sitting bones. So around here, we'll open up one arm and on the other side, twice through before we roll ourselves up to a really straight seated position, and we're going to go again. So just go back as far as you can without your feet leaving the floor. And back up. Good. 4 more. Keep it going. Keep that tummy strong. Last 2. Okay, final one. Back up to seated and drop the hands down. Good, so we're lying onto our back for the next few. You will need your band again for the next one. So we lie onto our back with our feet under our bums so our legs are bent up. Just rest the band on your tummy, we will need it in a minute. Just make sure we've got the time to rock the pelvis backwards and forwards. And we're just going to make sure that we're in a nice neutral position. As we've done a bit of sitting, our hips might be a bit tight. So slow this movement down and you want to feel like the 2 bones on your pelvis are pointing up towards the ceiling. Once you've got that, you're going to draw in the core. So we're drawing in and up towards the ribs. We're bringing one leg up. As we breathe out, bring the other leg up to join into double leg tabletop. We'll pop in the band across our legs and just let it hang there for now. Now the movement we're going to do is we're going to do 5 falls down. So I want you to breathe out for 4, 3, 2, 1. Then we're going to look over the top of our knees and you're going to breathe in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And we're going to repeat that 10 times. So once you're ready, we will start. So this one's really about breathing pattern. So deep breath in, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Breathe out, 4, 3, 2, 1. In, 4, 3, 2, 1. Out, 4, 3, 2, 1. In, 4, 3, 2, 1. Out, 4, 3, 2, 1. In, 4, 3, 2, 1. Out, 4, 3, 2, 1. In, 4, 3, 2, 1. Out, 4, 3, 2, 1. In, 4, 3, 2, 1. Out, 4, 3, 2, 1. In, 4, 3, 2, 1. Out, 4, 3, 2, 1. In, 4, 3, 2, 1. Out, 4, 3, 2, 1. Last time, breathe in, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Out, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. Drop the legs down one at a time. Drop the band to the side. Just have a stretch, so bring the hands above the head and your legs out straight. And just take a few deep breaths in and out. Just stretching through the core. So we got a little bit more core work to do today. So bringing the knees back up, and we're going to go into our double leg stretch. So for this one, we're coming into our double leg tabletop again. So squeezing in the tummy, coming up into our tabletop. We're drawing the hands up towards the ceiling as well. Just keeping the core nice and tight so we're not lifting the back. So if your knees start to drop towards the floor and we lift the back, you just need to draw in the core again. From here, as we straighten one leg, we'll bring the hands back and circling round back into the original position. So out and in, out and in. Now it's good to breathe out as we come back and in to return. Keep this going. Good. Have a rest if you need to, but if you can, keep it going. Still squeezing in the tummy. Five, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. We're relaxing one leg down, then the other. We're keeping our arms above our head and we're still keeping the core nice and tight. So pulling the core up towards the ribs. We're bringing our hands back, and then as we bring our hands forward, we're sitting ourselves up to look over the top of the knees and then coming back down and doing the same. Good, so just doing this like semicircle with our hands. and developing our crunch. Trying to lift as much of the shoulders off of the mat as you can. And the best way to describe how to do it is to, as you sit up, you're pushing the ribs down. So you're bringing the ribs towards the belly button to sit yourself up and then going over the head again. And again, trying to breathe out as we're doing our crunch. So in to bring our hands above the head, out to come into our crunch, and in again. Good, one more. Good, keeping the hands above the head. We're going to make this movement slightly harder and we're going to do 10 more in our tabletop position. So we're holding this position, we're drawing in the tummy, bring the hands above the head, and then coming into our crunch in this position. So 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and last one. Good, press the legs down and drop the hands to the side. Again, having a nice stretch out as tall as you can. I've used that core quite a lot there. 2 deep breaths. Good, and we're going to lose the focus on our core for a second and we're going to go into some leg exercises. So we're going to go into our glute bridge. Hands by the side, squeezing the bum muscles. So squeeze as we lift the pelvis off the mat, then we're lifting the lower back, then the upper back into this position, and then we're rolling down from the upper back, lower back, and lastly hips. And repeat again. Really making sure we're getting the squeeze through our bum muscles first. Good, so we're going to keep a few like this to start with. Good, so we're using both legs equally and we're using both glutes here. But we're going to make this single leg after 2 more. Okay, last one. And back down. Good, this time we're coming up. We're bringing one leg up. We straighten the leg, toe, point, toe, point, and down. So again, we're doing sort of 3 movements, back and forward on each leg, and then coming back down. This is a really good one for anyone with single leg sports. So if you do a lot of running or cycling where you have to push through one leg at a time. And we also want to be quite glute dependent. So don't rely so much on our hamstrings. Keeping those hips as high as you can throughout the leg movement. Okay, 2 more on each leg. Last one. And rolling back down. Good. We're going to have a quick stretch of our glutes. So we're going to bring one leg over the other, pushing the knee away from us, but you may want to get a further stretch by drawing in the resting leg. Opening up the hips and stretching through our glutes. We've worked quite hard today in our hips. Keep the shoulders nice and relaxed. We're dropping that leg down and we're swapping to the other side. Drawing the resting leg in if you can. We've got one more exercise for today, and then we'll have a nice 10-minute stretch to finish off. Resting the legs down. We're coming onto our front again. So onto our hands and knees, because we're going to come into a press-up position. So similar to the bend we did earlier, we're now doing the full version. So we're onto all fours with our hands further forward. We're coming into our press-up. We're lifting one hand up, lift the hips twice, and back down. Try and repeat on the other side before you rest. Drop the knees down. I'm going to go through this 4 times in your own time. The movement doesn't have to be too big, but it just means we're getting those core muscles nice and strong as well. Okay, so 2 sets left. Now we've done 2. This is a really good oblique workout, this one. Okay, and 1 more set to finish off today. And rest down. Sit back into child's pose, stretching the hands forward, just stretching through those shoulder muscles. And slow down your breathing. Good. We're coming onto our side. And we're doing a side lying quad stretch. So we are bringing one heel towards our bum, stretching through our quad. This is always the worst stretch, this one. And then if you can, you're going to bring the knee backwards to add in a little bit more hip stretch as well. Good. From here, we're bringing the knees up towards the chest. Hands together. Just rest the head on a pillow if you've got one. If you haven't, don't worry. We're opening the arms up as far as they can go. Count to 2 and then come back. So we're keeping our hips facing forward and we're just moving from the middle of our back. Okay, and 2 more. Last one. Good, sitting yourself up, and we're going to bring our feet out in front of us into a straddle position. From here, walking the hands down the left leg, bringing the toe towards the shin to add in a bit of calf stretch. Good, just point the toe and then bring the toe back up towards the shin for one more stretch. Good, walking the hands down the middle. And down the right leg. Again, bring that toe towards your shin if you can to get a bit more calf involvement. Good, and we're coming on to the opposite side to stretch through the opposite quad. So heel towards your bum. We'll finish with a lot of stretching so you can't remember that we've just worked quite hard. Hopefully we should just be feeling relaxed. Bring the knee backwards to add in a bit more of a hip stretch. Good. Bringing the knees up, and we're doing our forearm openings on this side. So opening up, count to 2, and close back. Last 3. Trying really hard to keep the hips facing forward. And one more. Good, coming on to our front. And if you can, if you don't have any sort of back issues, then we're going to come into this position, drop the hips forward just as far as you can. This is a really good one to try and open up the hips, especially if you've been sat down a lot today, or I think you ride a bike, so we get those really tight hips. A lot of you guys are cyclists. Good, coming back out, and one more time coming forward into our cobra. Just let the hips naturally fall as close to the floor as they can, but don't push it. Good, coming back onto our knees, bringing one foot forward. We're tucking our tailbone under, so we're going from this position to then tilting the pelvis, so tucking the tailbone under before we lean forward, just to get that extra stretch through the back leg. Bringing our hands up, and we're leaning towards the front leg. So whichever side your front leg is, we're leaning towards that side. Coming back up, dropping the hands down, swapping to the other side. Getting used to the stretch first. Before we bring the hands up and lean towards the front leg. Dropping the hands down, both knees on the mat, hands onto the mat too, tucking the toes under, pushing ourselves up into a downward dog stretch. So pushing the shoulders through and the heels down. And then just start walking the feet. So we're pushing one heel down to the floor at a time. Holding the left heel down and the right. And then both together. Walking the hands in, bending the knees if you need to. And we're rolling ourselves all the way up, tucking the hips under. Finish with a big shoulder roll and facing the center. So last little stretch, we're going to come onto our toes as we breathe in. Stretch up as tall as you can and breathe out. So again, breathing in and breathing out. Good, bring one hand over. And onto the other side. Bringing the left hand onto the right shoulder, pulling the elbow in. Swapping sides, so right hand onto left shoulder, bringing the elbow in. And letting both arms go down. And that is today. Hopefully you enjoyed that one. And yeah, put your mic on if you've got any questions.
Hello.
Hiya. All done.
Hiya. Hang on, Mike, you'll need to unmute yourself. Can you hear me?
I can hear you, yeah.
Cool, there we go. Yeah, I managed to do that then.
Oh, hang on. I know what I did. Hang on. That's better. Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Volume down. I've just done, I haven't been lazy, I've just done something. I've been rowing.
Oh, nice.
Fair play.
Yeah, 5K row.
See, I'm stuck now. The weather's bad. All the turbo trainers have sold out of everywhere. So I'm like trying to go on the bike, but I really don't want to get wet.
Yeah, there's, I don't know, Mike, do you know who's got a spare?
I can't. I know someone who's got a. I think he's just bought a smart trainer, so he should have something spare. Yeah. Yeah, but he did manage to get a. I can't remember where he bought it from, but it was about a £700 trainer, so it was a decent one.
Really?
There's been a few where a few came onto Wiggle and I got the email like, oh, it's back in stock, and then within like 5 minutes they were gone again.
Yeah, no,
right, yeah.
Look out on Facebook Marketplace, I think.
Yeah,
Are you after a smart trainer or just anything?
Pardon?
Are you after a smart trainer or just anything?
I ideally want one that does distance, so I might keep looking for something that, cause a lot of them connect to like an app, don't they?
Yeah.
So I might keep looking. Yeah, it just means I have to actually go out. Just lazy and get wet.
How much cyclists have got? I bet someone's got a spare one knocking around. I bet people have upgraded and not sold the ones they've got. I might even ask Nikki Harverton if she or Pete have got something.
Oh, cool! Thank you.
That's all right.
Yeah,
I know Mike had a dumb trainer that he's just replaced, so I assume he's still got it knocking about in the garage. It's nothing special. It's just a roller and a resistance unit.
Yeah.
Better than nothing. I'll ask again about next Friday and see if anybody else is interested in doing it. But I wonder if there's maybe doing it as a recording and get people.
Yeah, I mean, I do a session every Monday anyway, so I can record that one.
Why don't you do that and then send that recording out to people and get people
send it out instead, and then you guys can do it whenever suits you. Friday is a bit hard, but
Friday's easy as well. So I won't be able to host it every Friday either. So
yeah,
we might be visiting my family next Friday.
Yeah.
So
fine. I'll record those Mondays and then I can send it over to you and go from there.
Yeah. Let's do that instead. Is that all right with you, Mike?
Yeah, Yeah. So record it Monday and then send it out, yeah?
Yeah, so send it out on Monday, and then you can just do it whenever you want in the week then.
Okay. Yeah, that sounds okay, yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
All right, cool. Right, I've got to go because it's tea time.
Go. It's nice to see you. See you later.
Yeah,
Bye.
yeah. Cheers. Thanks, Hannah.
No worries. Bye.
How do we go? There you go.